Hello, my name is Pat. I'm a guide here at the Cathedral and I wanted to share one of my favourite places with you, and that's the tower, particularly the view of the tower where we are in the garth here. It just looks so beautiful with the pinnacles silhouetted against the sky. However, it's not just for its beauty I've chosen the tower. It makes me feel uplifted and it gives me a sense of hope, which has been so important over the last 18 months or so, certainly for me, and I suspect for many of us. And it's also this sense of hope that links me back through the history of the cathedral. It's seen lots of local, national and international crises, and it's still here. And on a very local level, the tower is visible on the horizon whichever way you approach Gloucester. So for the pilgrims over 500 years ago coming towards Gloucester and seeing the tower, they would have known the hope that they were at their journey's end. If we talk about also the hope of the medieval monks and masons responsible for building this third tower, as it was. We think it was the third tower. It's the third tower in the middle, the centre of what was then the abbey and is now the cathedral. We think the Norman tower, the first one, burnt down. The second one was taken down for remodelling in the mid-1300s, and this current tower was commissioned by Abbot Seabrook in 1450 and completed in 1460. And it says something for the monks and masons responsible for building this tower. They embarked on yet a third tower, but also more amazingly, although you wouldn't think so to look at it because of how delicate those pinnacles appear, the tower weighs about 6,000 tonnes. And contrary to all perceived architectural wisdom, they based the tower on the Norman foundations of the abbey, already 350 years old. So quite a leap of faith. It's been strengthened since by flying buttresses, but nevertheless it's the Norman foundations that it's placed on. So I've given you one fact already. The tower weighs 6,000 tonnes. It's 225 foot high from the base to the top of the pinnacles, or 69 metres, and you ascend it on a guided tour up 269 stone steps. Now that sounds somewhat daunting, and certainly when you've got to the top and down again, you know you've done it. However, I've done it several times, and you will stop at various points on the ascent to listen to your guides talking about what you're seeing, but it also means that not only are you listening avidly to what they're saying, you can also have a bit of a breather as well. So the first point you will stop at is at the crossing point over the south transept, and they will point out, the guides will point out things of interest to you there. And for me, although I don't want to mislead you, that seemed the most arduous part of the climb. The next stage you get to is the ringing chamber, where Great Peter is housed. This is the oldest intact surviving medieval bourdon bell in England. Bourdon meaning very heavy. It dates from about 1400. It's still rung every day, although electronically. So it looks absolutely magnificent. So that is quite a sight to see. The next stage up is the belfry, where the bells are housed, which are rung daily. And then you reach the top. The guide will fling open the door and you'll come out amongst those four pinnacles, and the views are absolutely amazing. You can look down to Bristol and the Vale of Berkeley one way, up to Tewkesbury And on a clear day like today, you might see as far as the Clent Hills in the West Midlands, 40 miles away, over to the Forest of Dean. And then the most moving aspect for me is looking over to Cheltenham and the Cotswolds, where the very stone for this abbey would have come from. So I find that just quite amazing. So I hope I've whetted your appetite to do a guided tour of the tower when restrictions allow. If you don't want to, or you feel you can't, why not just come and sit in this garth here that's in the middle of the cloisters, where the monks would have lived and worked all those hundreds of years ago, and just enjoy the peace and quiet in this oasis in the middle of a very busy city. So I hope to see you soon, and thank you for listening.